Obviously, when the Lings start getting here, the roaches and stuff, maybe not so much. The Vikings see the rest of this, so now you know just how much is coming your way. And Maru having to get into defensive mode. I mean, that's what that bunker is for. He does indeed have stim. He's got a siege tank on the high ground as well. Oh my god, he's going to stim early. He's going to chase these Ravagers. He gets one to start. The Lings on their own won't really add much to this. The Roaches are, I think, the scariest part that just aren't here yet. Once the Roaches arrive, I mean, they're all going to be Ravagers. So it's a lot of Ravagers, but then there's not really any tanking in this army against, stimmed Marines. Here we go. Doc going to try and make the bust through the natural corrosive files onto the siege tank. It will not last very long. Honestly, I think everything else will hold fairly okay. Still a few Ravagers here to worry about, though. Maru calls down supply to try and get on supply block, keep his production going. He will lose his +1 attack upgrade. He actually only built one engineering bay. It was actually looking to be pretty aggressive on the two bases. Obviously, very late 3CC, all things considered. Which obviously in this scenario actually helps him out holding this attack because it means he built into all of these extra racks before that third base. So this obviously becomes way more of kind of like a two-base all-in initially. But yeah, now starting up the third, he does attack the rocks in the back by mistake, but he's holding the bunker. He kept the engineering bay alive. I mean, that's a big extra benefit as well. If you can keep this engineering bay alive, the difference that makes is huge because actually just having +1 attack will be the upgrade advantage, and the upgrade advantage could go a long way. Dark accidentally rallying his overlords across the map into this Viking, and Maru is able to take down overlords because of it as well, and that's going to put Dark into an even deeper supply block. I mean, that's just one of the overlords. Another one, and he's even further supply block. Maru gets 2 medevacs, goes straight across the map, wastes no time at all. Bit of healing, picks up those Marines, and goes to deal some damage. Now, Dark did preserve the Ravagers, and keeping the Ravagers alive, it means he still has an army out on the ground that he doesn't have to replace as quickly or as soon. For the most part, this should be good for Maru. He's put himself into a very good position. He's put himself into what I would call the driver's seat. As you see these Marines unloading into the main base. And going straight through. A couple of drones already have to pull away. Going straight for the spawning pool. Spawning pool is going to go down. That's actually huge. This is really bad if Maru decides to just attack. I mean, I guess he's got a roach run, so he can build roaches. But then you can only build roaches. And you're building roaches against siege tanks. And again, a very powerful push where +1 attack is done. And that's also huge as well. Upgrade advantage for Marines, just the attack upgrade against roaches. The difference that makes, they just get shredded. This Maru will move that third CC out now, so this really was a game that, well, Maru was actually kind of well set up for in the end, as we see some creep tumors going down. Kind of like it, right? He's like looking to be very aggressive on two bases on this very small map. Definitely playing to the map, and it's, the strength that this Terran can find on the map like this. Man, Zergling's just kind of running into this haphazardly, and obviously that's a choke point, so that ain't pretty. Roaches actually got into a bit of a weird spot there as well, where they were actually in range of the tanks. As you see, the tanks all up on the high ground. I mean, at this point, Maru just kind of stims in one direction. He kind of kites towards half the army, making the rest of the army have to keep on chasing. And of course, Dark can't really venture forward to chase at all. If he tries to chase, Maru's just going to be like, well, what, you're chasing into my siege tank fire, so, good luck and have fun with that. These few extra creep tumors will be going down. The roach now ravages out the right-hand side. Pushing damage wherever possible. The siege tank shot already firing up, and let's see how tank's going to unsiege, and Maru's going to start heading back home. He just finished up 1-1. He's going to turn back around as units try and come up this ramp. I mean, that's just, a choke point that Maru uses to his advantage. Still looking to push to the natural expansion. So supply depot setting up. Corrosive files. Medevac not there in time to realistically save that tank. Now this is going to go in the main, so that's going to be Maru's... Yeah, this is going to be a test of if Maru can look at the minimap. And guys, don't want to shock you, but Maru can indeed look at the minimap. He spots it immediately into the main, and that's going to be unsuccessful. Nidus and Dark's options are running out at the moment, and they are running out fast, as Maru is even repositioning the tanks all the time based on where Dark is running. He's only got a couple tanks here, right? I mean, obviously corrosive files are dangerous against those. Next Nidus just goes at the front, so Dark can obviously just reinforce this army without having to run everything across the map. So it's a little bit faster there. Yeah, there's just so much bio that I don't even know how much the tank support really matters at this stage, right? Bio matches up against these roaches kind of bad in lower numbers, but as soon as you get to higher numbers, it's not even a competition. And this is a fight without the tanks even really being a part of this, as the bio just pushes on through. All the roaches are going to go down. Well, plus 1 armor on the way. Honestly, this attack took a lot longer to move out onto the map than I thought it would. I really thought he'd try and go a bit sooner. I mean, now he's actually going to be down on upgrades, where before he was up 1-0 against 0-0. Now he's going to be down the carapace or the armor upgrade, right? So that's a slight concern. One thing that might go well for Maru is if Dog just doesn't realize there's more of this army over here, and then he loses this chunk of Roach Ravager. Because he still has Roach Ravager over here, expecting maybe a bit more multi-prong, especially expecting more drops. Tank sieging. Dog sees it immediately and he runs away. No defending that fourth base, so that's going to be a cancel. As Maru now has built up to 3 bases, so again has got that down. The thing is, Dog is still just building Roach Ravager with 1-1 done. Yeah, 65 workers. It's kind of that point where you can just hit it like a big 1-1 Roach Ravager time, but that usually works against the Terran who's just starting to really get the bio numbers pumping, whereas obviously in this game, Maru's had those numbers, you know, setting up from a much earlier stage, so I'm not sure if like a big 1-1 maxed out Roach timing is going to do enough here. Although Maru out of position, the unit's now moving across the map. He does defend this little bit of damage here, but then the rest of the units showing up, and now Maru has to make a decision. He obviously has so many units here, he could just set up a continued attack. Now the tanks are kind of deciding what they want to do. They start to head home. He's already lifted up the 3rd base. What's he got at home? Does he have any other siege tanks? 2 tanks in this these medevacs here, so it looks like they were looking to find a position. Well, Doc just has really not a lot at home. Oh my god, that's an Overlord farm if I've ever seen one. If he kills all those Overlords, well, I actually think he doesn't really have the time to, right? He has to focus on the Roaches. Tanks are not going to siege either. He wants to keep this army mobile as he kills the Roach Roaring. That was the Roach Roaring, right? I'm not going crazy. Maybe I am. I'm pressing all the wrong buttons. I don't actually know how to bring up... Oh, it's all in this tab, right? Sorry, different overlay to usual. Roach Roaring was going down. Yeah, just double checking. I was just wondering because obviously I thought it was going to be all in initially, so it was suddenly weird to me that the Roach Roaring is in the front and easily seen. Well, these Roaches are just going to run for this. The 3rd base has to lift up. The Marauders are doing quite a lot of damage here as well. I mean, that's one thing for Maru too. He's been building Marauders from an early stage, so he does have them to help against the Roaches. I mean, Maru's obviously down a lot of supply, but that's kind of what these fights look like usually when it's so Roach Ravager heavy. Obviously, as those Roaches get traded out, they won't trade super well against a maximum, you know, a higher supply Terran player. We'll start to head out to the far left side. Lings, Roaches, Ravagers all joined up together here on the left. As we're going to be seeing our hive continuing from dark in the main base. Our bio will end up on the bottom right and we'll go straight in after this hatchery, so he gets that hatchery already. Able to take that down. As again, our bio just going to come through and a couple of creep teamers already being picked away at. Lings fallen as well as our Ravagers and our Roaches trying to move up this ramp. We've got medevacs into the main. Obviously, one of the big weaknesses of Dark's army right now is there's no drop defense. You know, his drop defense is, I mean, you can see by the massive spore crawlers. You know, this is like a Terran player playing TVT, massing up missile turrets. This is how little drop defense Dark has. He has to build like a ton of spores here to realistically defend against this. As you see the bio army of Maru pulling back a little bit. Some Lings and some Roaches and some Ravagers all going down. The rest of these tanks, etc., are all setting up as well. As you do see Dark still coming through the center, trying to set up, pushing through. Tanks will siege. I'm sure he'll get a kill on the right side, and now at the same time you've got a hatchery taking a lot of damage on the left side. Maru might be about to put Dark onto 3 bases here. Big drop play in the end as Dark is across the map with Roaches, but these few Marauders are just defending. Obviously horrible position for the Roaches, choked up against this CC. Don't know how you get choked up that badly, that's crazy, but yeah, the Marauders just trade so well against Roaches. And that's the thing as well, just having this many Marauders from the start has really limited what Dark can do. Again, Dark now, Ling's on the way, starting to make that switch into Ling Bane to support the Roaches and the Ravagers, making this a little bit different. Bit more bio going to stem through, and I mean, again, and the other thing is, he's actually really doing a great job of denying creep spread, right? This entire left side has never really been creeped up. The right side has some good creep on it, but it doesn't go too far back, as you do see Dark and well, take a fight. The Infestors actually get some big fungal growths to help with the Banelings clashing in. He had just a couple of Infestors on as he took the Infestation Pit to go up to Hive, and they actually hit some big shots there. Has the Vipers as well to hit Blinding Clouds. That's the one thing you got to say about Dark's army. He's done a great job of improving it to a pretty sizable point. The Blinding Cloud actually misses one of the siege tanks. He'll take the tanks down pretty quick anyway as Maru splits away. Marauders still pushing down to the bottom side. This is just Lings and Roaches and Ravagers at the moment. The Banes aren't currently morphed. There's like 2 Banelings in the army as it stands. Now this Fungal Grove is going to land on everything. The burrow play, oh my god, everything gets caught. Finally, it fades. You can jump into the medevacs and retreat, but at the moment, the fungal growths have been MVPs. And Maru just not prepared against the few infestors. I mean, it's a big cost from Dark, but he got a couple of them out. He made it work, and he got massive amount of value out of it. Pushing in, just going to see straight up a hatchery already going down. A few Banes rolling here for some SCVs. We do have a couple of drones caught, so at least Maru gets rid of one of these bases. As the right side is obviously the one as well, which has better creep on it too, so I don't think Maru is really too bothered that that's the one he ends up killing here. He's going to get this base as well. Maru is going... It's like Maru activated his pult mode in TVP, right? Like, Pult the Nexus sniper, and now Maru is the hatchery sniper, just dropping and stimming at bases that you're like, surely this unit's there to defend. Nope. +3 attack Marauders kill hatcheries pretty quickly, as Maru will find himself maxed once more. The big thing here is obviously now he's a bit more aware of A, infestors, and B, burrowed infestors, so you know that that's maybe a problem to be, thinking about. And knowing about that obviously gives you a bit of a better idea as, okay, maybe I should deal with that. Does he realize that these are burrowing around the ground? You can see them. That little burrowed animation. It's hard to see, but it's not impossible as the infestor shows up. Fungal was a moment too late to save the rest of those Marauders. Liberator sieging up for quite a few drones, though, and obviously just killing off mining time. Now Maru with a big army in the bottom right. Adding on a lot more Widow Mines. Now that he's moved away from Roach Ravager, he's decided to move away from the stationary, slow-moving, slow-sieging tanks to the much faster burrowing Widow Mines now that they have Drilling Claws as well. And they should help a lot more against the Ling Bane army. That splash should work a lot better for him as he honestly wins out this fight in the bottom right. And, well, now Ultra's on the way from Dark. Now, the first few Ultras I'm not too worried about here because Maru is already on Marauders. Ultras are much scarier if you're playing against a Terran who's been stuck on Marine Mine or something, or Marine Mine Medevac, and hasn't been building any Marauders. But Maru has the Marauders to fight Ultras at the start. He has relocated his main base to this right-hand side as a 5th. Just doesn't have what it takes to build a CC, though, just yet. He will have that now. That's a good fight for him. The Widow Mines are doing a lot as he pulls away. Marauders doing well there. Still holding his high ground. Do we have any infestors? I mean, it feels like everything's plumped up at the moment. That parasitic bomb is huge. So many of these parasitic bombs doing so much damage, plus the fact that there was also the corrosive Basla connected meant that was a very deadly set of parasitic bombs. A lot of medevacs going down. This Ultra would rather give up the hatchery than itself. And in the end, it felt as though Maru would get both, and he does get both. The Widow Mines making that happen. Here come the infestors. They're going to get blown up by Widow Mines, though. And suddenly you lose the efficiency of those infestors as now they finally go down. Widow Mines still helping Maru to retreat away with these Marauders, playing a beautiful game at the moment. Again, where it looked like he was honestly in a bit of trouble, but he's making it work out. The bio continues down this bottom side. An extractor is found. Drones are falling. I mean, he's just been consistently denying bases, and that's got to be one of the reasons he's still somewhat in this. As these Ultras are just not doing their job. I mean, it's just not good enough against these Marauders. You can actually just kill them, and that's the thing. These Ultras... this one actually does survive, but yeah, these Ultras, this one dies. The Ultra's just not doing really anything to actually help the army here, and Dark has just not found an opportunity to harass or counter onto this base at all. Finally, a few Lings making their way over, but Maru getting access to that 5th base economy and taking an eco advantage from this. That's absolutely massive as Zergling's going down all over the place. Bio, the bottom left. Ultra already going down. A couple of corrosive powers to take down the Widow Mines, but now both Ultras have fallen. And that's just such an expense. I mean, this Viper is looking for what? A parasitic bomb. It goes down as well. Man, there's just no winning at the moment for Dark. Nothing's working out. Maru's about to start taking the top left side of the map behind all of this. And Maru's already on the bottom. Oh, sorry, that's changelings. I thought he was already on the bottom right with another drop, but no. The next army is moving out now, though. Maru just multitasked his way to a victory in this one. You've got to say it, right? I liked where he was at early. The infestors and the fungals and that fight definitely went Dark's way. And then Maru's multitasking has just been incredible. And he really just has picked off base after base after base. He's killed off 4 hatcheries this game, obviously cancelled a few of them. Zergling is running in, but siege tank reinforcements are here, so you're not going to catch anything off guard. There's just no splash in this army anymore. There's no Banes. There's an Ultra that's just going to get kited against. Like, the Lings alone, the Lings are doing okay because it's so Marauder heavy. But the fact it's so Marauder heavy kind of makes it okay to trade out the hatcheries and all the rest of it, right? So there's benefits to that. Now the Lings are just going to go down. Dark's going to get broken on the left side as well. Maru's maxed out. Dark's at 120 supply, and that will do it.